Yeah, welcome everyone to today's Monday Masterclass. And today we have the divine Kelly King Anderson as our divine guest. And he's going to be sharing with us. The topic is spirituality and essential oils, but it's really about connecting to divine and creating miracles with that relationship. So I'm so excited to hear from Kelly. She's an amazing wealth of I use the word wisdom because she just really is a channel. It's not just knowledge, it's real wisdom. And she's an amazing presidential diamond leader, but she's created so many things in her life. She writes books. She is really passionate about empowering women in leadership and entrepreneurs. So I'm so excited to have Kelly here with us and just to really receive how it is that we can be in most connection to ourselves and to spirit and really connected to the life that we're living. So I'm going to hand it over to you, Kelly.
Fantastic. Well, I'm so excited for this chance. I love Australia so much, and we have a team based in Sydney, Melbourne kind of area. So every chance I get, I go over there and help and support them. And then I've adopted all these other extended, wonderful team members, including Anastasia, and really good friends with Paul and Vanessa. And it's just like an ongoing love with everyone over there. So I just am so glad to meet more of you and hope you feel the love. Like it's a global unified company, like we're just one big family. And I truly adore that about what we're creating. And when I decided to build doTERRA, I decided that I was going to do it with God's help. And so for me, that's the language that I use. I mean, you might say spirit or universe or whatever, but I'm just going to refer to that. So divine help is God. And what I chose as the mantra was, I build doTERRA quickly and easily, and God shows me the way. I chose that pretty much from the get-go because I knew that I was going to do it with the intention of income creation. I wasn't like out to go diamond like per se. I was just out to make it a profitable venture. And I wasn't really clear on like the ranks or any of that. I just knew that if I would lean and trust on my faith, that I could create whatever was in store that heaven had in mind. So that's kind of been my journey and my background. And I'll send you guys a link to our diamond, our presidential diamond story. And we're actually going to be featured in the July issue of Leadership Magazine. I don't know when that's coming out, but we'll be on the cover of that. And we're just so thrilled to share what our journey was really. And that was to create it with ease and grace and joy, and just knowing that a mustard seed of faith can move mountains. And when I was going for these bigger ranks, I learned that it became kind of like a normal thing for people to feel like this push or this heaviness around it. But then this friend of mine is a blue diamond named Ashley Miller. She said, what if every rank was easier than it had ever been before? Isn't that a fun thought? And I really believe that that's possible, and that the miracle mindset is what it takes, to go there. And so I'm going to share some oils today that have been a part of my journey, but also some tools and some practical tips. And then if you are open to the Christian conversation, I'm actually running a group right now called 31 Days of Miracles for Your Oil Business. And I'd be happy to add any of you to that. My background is Christian, and yet at the same time, I embrace and invite and welcome all spirituality, goodness, and truth. I used to live in Bali, and I just dearly love the Hindu people. And I see like the love that they have, and how it emanates out of them into everything that they touch. And so truly spirituality is love at the core of it. And I think you can all relate and understand that. So if we are creating from the highest source of love, which is us, we are created in love, we are love, then how do we create more of that abundantly? And I think that's the real conversation. So the first thing I'm going to invite you to do is to use wintergreen. And wintergreen is a well-loved oil for surrender. And how I would invite you to use it is just to like take some drops and stick it on the back of your neck and your shoulders. And then just to recognize that the burdens you're carrying right now don't need to be shared alone, and that they really, truly can be lifted and strengthened, and that you can have all the help that you need. I'm also a huge, huge fan that we can call on the spirit guides and angels that should be with us all the time. And so if that resonates with you, what does that look like? Well, for me, I believe that my ancestors are part of my angel support team. I believe that if I feel a connection to someone who's lived in the past, that I can call upon them like a friend. And it may seem kind of silly, but if you have read like a biography or maybe a sacred text, and there's someone who like you feel close to, like why not ask them to guide and to lead and to inspire you? So one of my favorites is Queen Esther from the Bible. And if you know her story, you know that she had a lot of courage. And she saved her people because she was willing to do something that wasn't traditional. And so whenever I'm feeling like I need more courage, I just like say, hey, Esther, if you're available today, I would be so honored if you would join me and give me the strength that I need in this moment. I'm also a huge fan of Walt Disney. And as you know, he's like a legend for creating happiness around the world. So if I want to create happiness and joy in my surroundings, and if I want to be creative, I might ask him to help me too. So yes, I believe in Jesus, and yes, I believe in angels, but I don't feel like that we're limited in any means. And so whatever this means for you, I would just say ask and receive and recognize that maybe we're not living up to our fullest potential because we haven't had the courage to ask for additional help and resources. So I'm going to give you some other tools that I love. I will give you a recipe for a blend that I prayed for and asked for called Connect and Let Go. And this is like to connect to God and then to let go of fears, doubts, and worries. Because I find most of the time when people are, really connected to source and feeling like the love and the peace and the joy, then they're like on fire, right? The passion's coming, the inspiration's coming, they're like driven and guided. But it's those stumbling blocks, those obstacles and barriers that get in the way that hold us back. And so every day, if my intention is to connect and let go of the rest, this is a great reminder. And so this is what the recipe is. It's 5 drops lemongrass. And lemongrass is for clarity, simplicity, and cleansing. 5 drops of lime for courage, determination, and gratefulness. 5 drops Douglas fir for wisdom, respectfulness, generational healing, and healthy connections. 2 drops arbor vitae for peaceful surrender, being grounded, allowing, grace, and effortless living and trust. And 1 drop cinnamon for harmonious acceptance and intimacy with the divine. This is a really beautiful blend. I wouldn't recommend diluting it. I would just put it in like a 5 ml, and I would use it ongoingly. I'll give you another recipe later, but other oils that are highly strong for connection, as we know, like clary sage is like use like a third eye for clarity, intuition, imagination. Spikenard you can use on your belly button to open the heart, clear blocked energy, and invite feelings of love. And as I mentioned, the wintergreen for surrendering, relying on the divine, and letting go. So there's some ideas for you. Of course, frankincense, right? And one of the things that I'd like to remind everyone is frankincense is not only for spiritual connection, but it is also for bringing in Father Spirit. And myrrh is for bringing in Mother Spirit. So you want to use them both in balance. You want Mother and Father Spirit and creation energy. And I believe that we co-create with parents, heavenly parents. And so for me, I want both. I don't want just male energy. I want both. So just everybody should really remember that the balance is important there. Also, as a critical part of creation and spirituality, of course, is gratitude. And so if you don't already have a daily gratitude journal, or sometimes I call it a miracles journal, be in the practice of recognizing and recording the blessings and the gifts that you receive in your business and also in personal connections. I also love to pray, but I find that my prayers are often like distracted. I have a really hard time focusing and centering myself. And so for me, I started writing out my prayers. And you can also ask and receive in prayer form too. So if that resonates with you, you can write questions out and then ponder and meditate on them. And then insights that come back can be a dialogue with heaven that way. And sometimes I just flat out write, "Dear God," write out the prayers of my heart, and then I sign it, "Love Kelly," and then I write, "Dear Kelly, God, what do you want to say to me today?" And I just write any impressions that I have, and I'll ask very specifically about my business, and I'll say, these are my intentions this month, and I need your help. And one of the most beautiful things that I've done over the years is making a to-create list, a creation list. We're used to to-do lists, but I don't want to do anything. I want to create. Like, it sounds so much more joyful. And if we're creating in a heavenly way, then what I've done, I wish I had an example of it here, but I just take a piece of paper and write, draw a line down the middle. And on the left side, I write me. And on the right side, I put God, Jesus, and my A team. And the A team is my angel team. And so on the left side are all of the things that I can do. I can set up classes. I can make calls to my team. I can enroll 5 people. I can come up with an incentive, right? Those are all the things that I can do. But the things on the right are the things that are like out of my control. Like, please inspire my team to work without needing an incentive or needing to be motivated, or please inspire our leaders to have more powerful whys, or to be driven to reach their goals because they want to make a contribution in a powerful way, or please inspire them to know how to invite those who are ready to buy right now, or please bring those leaders who are looking for an opportunity who will be a perfect fit for our team. Really working in that partnership is a beautiful way to plan. And it's something I've been doing for several years, and it takes the load off, because especially when you're going for diamond or above ranks, it can feel really heavy, and you need to know that you're not alone. You are perfectly supported in every area of your life. But you got to ask for it, right? And you need to put your trust that it is available, but putting the action behind the belief is the key. So you're doing your part, and then you're inviting to come in there. So as I started this out, I was like, yeah, ask people that you're resonating with, right? Like people on earth and people beyond. But then just do your part. Like, keep working as if it all relies on you, and then give thanks for anything extra that comes your way. So on that piece of paper, I might work on that for an entire week, and then start again a new one on the next week. And whenever I see things shifting on the team, like, thank you for those 5 enrollments that I was trying to create, I'll just write thank you, or that kind of thing. Or I'll just recognize the unexpected blessings that have come or made me feel more joy in the process. And then also we know that we want to really work on our mindset. And I know that you all are very familiar with the power of what we say and what we think. But really, truly, that's a spiritual creation. What you're putting out there, that's putting into action, right? So be really, really clear about the kind of leaders that you want to draw into your team and the kind of people you want to even enroll on your team as customers. Because we know that even just one customer who's enthusiastic and excited can shift the energy of the whole group. So why not ask for more, customers who are going to be engaged in the Facebook group, or they're going to come to activities and they're going to add value and joy in the experience, instead of the opposite, where we've had people who are skeptical and wondering what this is all about and bringing up doubts and worries. I don't want to attract any of that. So maybe write some real clear defining attributes of the kind of customers you want to attract and the kind of builders. And if you haven't done that, that's creation process. That's spiritual creation. I'm also a huge fan of evidence boards. If you aren't familiar with that is, a lot of people know what vision boards are, but evidence boards are proof of heaven working with you. A miracle happened when you enrolled 11 out of 11 people that came to an event. Write it down. Or when you assigned that a certain symbol would represent that you're on track and you keep seeing it in your life. For me, 1212 is my sign I'm on track. So if I see 1212 on the clock or 1212 on a hotel room or on the street or whatever, it's God's got my back. And I know everybody has their different ways of language that they communicate with, but that's mine. And I started showing up so much in my life that I just decided, thanks God, that's going to be my little pat on the back, my little hug, that I know that things are going well. For other people, it might be a butterfly, or it might be that you're drawn to a certain song, and then when it comes on, you're like, oh, that's my thing, So whatever it is for you, pick some things. Also, if you're not meditating regularly, that is a huge blessing for getting clear and to let go of the stress, because we can't receive inspiration if we're feeling so stressed out. Another one that is great is if you're finding a lot of negative head talk, and it doesn't have to happen all the time, right? But sometimes we're just bogged down one day. And so you can take a piece of paper on one side and write all the pains, all of the negative stuff, just write it all down on the left side. And then for each one on the right, turn it into a gain. So a pain might be, I'm not sure how I'm going to pay this bill. And on the right will be, I'm grateful to be humbled and to be hungry for, to create a different life. So for every time that you're feeling a stress, write it down on the left and then turn it into a positive. And then when that left side is full, then I would tear it into little bits and burn it, and then keep your right side. And then just remember all the great things that are happening for you. And the positive will feed itself, right? It'll create momentum. If you're not already a fan of Wayne Dyer, I highly recommend anything that he does, but I love particularly The Power of Intention. I also love Breakout by Joel Osteen. He is a Christian author and pastor, and there's this amazing quote that I will read to you that is just my go-to every time I want to feel in the flow, in the power. And this is what it is. This is from his book, Breakout. You need to get ready, not for a trickle, not a stream, not a river, but a flood of God's favor, a tidal wave of God's goodness, a tsunami of his increase. God is going to take you to a level that you've never seen before. It will be unprecedented. You will go farther and quicker than you've ever dreamed. Love that quote so much. And I have it in all kinds of like graphics, and I keep it with me all the time because I want to be ready, right? Like I want to just take it in. And when you consider like the abundance that is available for us, it's not like we're just going to the ocean with a little thimble and we're like going to scoop it up and we're going to like drink it. Like, it's like, no, be drowned in it. So much so that we can't like take it all in. And one of my team leaders, and a lot of you know who he is, Rod Richardson, he says, stand in the river of abundance, take what part is yours and pass the rest down. I love that image. Like, if water is such a flow, you know, and represents wealth and abundance, like let it go, like let it just come in and come out, you know, it's just go, 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 go. As if we're in this concept of just hoarding, like then it's going to be literally damned. We need to like just receive and let it go. And so with everything, if you're meditating over it, just imagine yourself with your hands open wide and your feet like just open and flopped. I like to just imagine myself on the beach and like just warm and receiving, and just like this light from heaven coming down to like my third eye and just washing over me. And just my hands are open to receive, my feet, all of it, just like from head to toe, receiving, and then shooting out to others, right? And giving it and blessing. Another thing that's really clear for me when I'm creating is that if it's in alignment, it's already a yes, right? Like if you wouldn't be in this call, you wouldn't be in this opportunity if it wasn't a yes. So now, is it the right time? And if it's the right time, then you can count on every door opening in front of you. So I wear this little key. I don't know if you guys can see it. A little key, diamond key, every day. It's like my thing, because it reminds me that I have the faith to open every door. And the key is my faith. And so how that came to be was in a meditation where I was asking God, okay, I want to know what my gifts are. I want to know how I can bless other people. And through the end of the meditation, I could see this beautiful gold and diamond, like big skeleton key. And then as I picked it up, I could see every door just open, open, open. And then I noticed that the thing that I was sad about was that I'm like, okay, thank you so much, God. Like, I am so grateful for my faith and that my path is clear. It's available. I can trust the process. It's going to work. But what my question was how do I bless other people? And then the answer was, your key is infinitely duplicatable. So as long as you're holding it up and you're inviting other people to use their faith, they can open their doors as well. And so I was just so excited about that. I was like, yes, like if everyone truly understood that when they ask, they can receive. When they knock, it can be opened. Like that every door is going to move forward, right? You might have to turn, sure. You might have to backtrack, sure. But eventually, when you're in alignment, you'll be on the right path. You'll know what it is and you'll move forward. And so the oils help us to remember and to anchor and to be grounded and to magnify, our efforts. And so if you're feeling like a little bit off and you need the passion, of course, like bring on those oils that will increase that or energy. Or like if you need to forgive yourself for like a class that didn't go well or wasn't prepared, like use the forgive oil. I don't know why I've been so drawn to this forgive oil, but I think a lot of us need to forgive ourselves, because like it's easy to forgive a team member or a spouse or child, but like we hold so much guilt, we hold and so much burden. But like, what if we just said, the Ho'oponopono, I hope that's how you say it right, prayer every day for ourselves and then for others, which is, I love you, I thank you, I'm sorry, I forgive you. And if we said it to ourselves as well as to like maybe someone else that we want to shift a relationship and use that forgive oil, it will start opening up some things. And if you need to be consoled, like use that too, right? So console is first, validate the feelings, use the forgive, then move to peace, and then you can choose to be motivated, passionate, or cheerful. Like I love that kit can like help us go through the steps. And that is just so beautiful. Okay. So another thing I wanted to connect with is, okay, for spiritual creation, service and sacrifice is a missing piece that a lot of people don't realize can catapult your business. I've done this multiple times for both Blue Diamond and Presidential. I have felt inspired to make a sacrifice to serve others in extraordinary ways that I gave up. Like I just said to God, like, this is for you. And He knows my intentions and what I want to create. And I was unattached, but I increased my sacrifice and service with a desire that if it was accepted, that it would magnify, my efforts, because I believe that we do all we can, but then we need grace. Like we need help. We need heaven just to push it over the edge. Right. And so I believe that service and sacrifice is part of that. And so a quick example is last year when I was creating Presidential, mind you, we had already created it in 2015, but it fell apart. The team decided that they didn't want to be a platinum anymore, and that's okay. But we had to start another leg. So that happens even when you're building with creation and spiritual intent. People have agency and they have, they have choice. Like we don't need to force anyone to build, right? But if they want to and they're excited and they're ready, then it's going to move a lot more smoothly. But in this case, the leader was kind of doing it as a favor for me. And at a certain point, she was like, okay, I think I'm kind of done. And that wasn't in alignment for her. So I found the right leader who wanted to go for it, and we got her to platinum. But before doing so, I felt to make a promise to God that I would give a gift. And the gift that I felt to give was a hard one for me. It wasn't one that I wanted to do, but I felt compelled to do. So I knew it would be a true sacrifice. And so if you're not familiar with Healing Hands, there's these beautiful projects that you can sponsor when you're a diamond, and then doTERRA will match. And so this organization came to me about 4 days before I was leaving for Europe for 6 weeks with my family. And mind you, I have 3 teenagers, kind of in the ages of 10 to 16. And my husband and I were going on this extended trip. And I wasn't really in the mindset of like, now I'm going to do a massive fundraiser, But this is what was required of me. And I listened and I obeyed. And that's the thing about sacrifice, is it has to be a true sacrifice. If it was easy, it's not a fact sacrifice. So when God asked it of me, I was like, okay, I'll do that. And, I want to go Presidential. And so that was one of the things He asked of me, was to do a Healing Hands project. And I loved the project. It was just a little bit hard for me to say yes at the time. So the project was to sponsor 3 empowerment women's centers in Ghana and Kenya to help them to create enough funds to buy industrial sewing machines, and then doTERRA would match that. So essentially $20,000 of industrial sewing machines to help these women have resources to make and develop their skills, and that they could sell clothing and bags and do like Days for Girls projects and all of that. And so it was a very, very worthy project. Did you have a question? Okay. And so then we had about 30 days to put it together. The organization that approached me was so committed, and they were just really, really rallying to find the funds for it. About 4 days before the deadline, they came to me and they said, we've done about 6,000 of it. What can you do? And I'm in Europe and not thinking about it much, but I knew that I was to support um, this organization, and I wanted to help fund it. I just didn't know how we were going to get the funds together, and I was distracted. And so I had to pray about it and ask, and the answer was to put up a post in the Blue and Presidential Diamond page. So I wrote the post and I said, hey guys, we've this organization has collected $6,000 and we're about 4,000 short, so that Healing Hands can get the rest and match it. And so would any of you be interested in helping to support it? And in about 4 hours, they came up with about $3,500. These different Blue and Presidential Diamonds, like one person said, I'll do 500. Someone said, I'll do 500. And I just started to get so emotional because I almost said no to sponsoring the project because I thought it'd be too hard for me. It'd be a sacrifice, right? But it really wasn't. Like, God made it easy and joyful and fun for people to contribute and be a part of something meaningful. So we were able to fund that project, and that was one of the boulders, I would say, that was lifted in my path to presidential. Because of that finishing and completing $20,000 going towards those centers, we were also able to, it seems unrelated, but it's completely related. Like, God's like, you're going to help thousands of women in Africa. I'll help you with this simple little goal of yours to go presidential. It's just hilarious sometimes you think about it. And things started shifting in the teams, and they started to gain more momentum and more enthusiasm, and we started to see some changes. And another thing is that I was asking for an enrollership change for this one leader, that if I could have her enrollership, it would help solidify one of the teams. And it was a long shot. It really was. But I asked for it and I prayed about it. And I really feel that I was able to get that enrollership change because of the fundraiser. It's not a coincidence. So I invite you to consider that if you want to make massive change in your business, to do something extraordinary that maybe not so time consuming, but will take a sacrifice or make an effort. Another time I felt to write an ebook about making decisions with God. And it took me about 6 months to write it off and on. And I released it for free the first day. It's on Amazon. And then after the first day, there was a bunch of downloads and things. Then I started to charge. The only reason why I started to charge was because I felt people would value. But the day that I released it, about 1,700 people downloaded it for free. And I offered that also as a sacrifice, as a gift, as an offering, as just a blessing for the world of whoever was wanting to receive it. And I said, if it's I will, I want this to also further my business. And I also believe that had a very significant impact on us making our goals. So why do I tell you these sacred things? Because for me, like, rank advancing is a miracle walk. It's a lesson in asking and receiving. It's a lesson in powerful creation and recognizing that if we can do this, we can do anything in any other area of our lives. And it's been really exciting to see that, wow, we can rally a team in 14 days to do $21,000 in sales, and it can be fun. and it can be joyful and we can have a celebration about it. Or we can try and push a team up a mountain and sweat and swear and curse our way up there and like push and force. Like, that doesn't sound fun, right? So ask the mountain to be removed and make it joyful. And that's kind of the lesson that I've learned, is that you can do it the hard way or you can do it the easy way. And the easy way takes faith and it takes focus, but it also is like an unexpected gift after gift after gift. The last thing I would recommend in this spiritual creation with oils is to choose an oil that you want to be the daily anchor for your goals and for whatever it is that you're creating. Maybe you don't want to rank advance. Maybe you want to like save your marriage, or you want to heal a relationship with a friend, or you want to work on a weakness and turn it into a strength. If you choose an oil as an anchor, as a reminder, like every day when you diffuse that oil or you wear that on your heart, you can like send a prayer out with that. And for me, that's just like one more touch that we can have to make what we desire tangible. Of like, okay, this blend, and I'll give you this recipe too, of serenity, bergamot, rose, frankincense, is going to remind me every time that I want more joy in my day, and that every interaction is going to be full of love. Like, maybe that's my intention. Great. You know, like spiritually putting out there this desire is a prayer with an anchor as an affirmation. And the last thing I didn't mention that I'll say now, and then we can do like some Q&A, is choose a song that you're going to also anchor in with maybe with your vision board or with your oils, of like, this is going to be my reminder of who I am and what I can create. And so for me, I love the song 100,000 Angels by Bliss, if you're not familiar with it. I lay down on my bed or on the floor and with my arms open, and I just like connect. And I remember that I have a mother and a father, and there's nothing I can't do. I have 100,000 angels on my side, and with God, nothing is impossible. So like for me, it's just like, okay, connect, remember my divine identity, and then be filled. Remember what I can do, who I can do it with, and who I can do it for, and then send it out and bless. And so a quick reminder of how to do a little formula, if you will, is receive the connection, the inspiration, run with it, rest, renew, do it again. So repeat, you know? So receive, run, rest, repeat. And like throughout the day, if you're like, okay, what do I need to do? Run with it, rest, come back, center yourself, get grounded, recharge, go for it again. And if you do that continually, and then with the support of the angels, which are spiritually created to support our intentions, use them with a prayer and with gratitude and with joy, you're going to just be completely on fire. And if you can just imagine yourself, instead of pushing your way to the top of that mountain, just saying, or let that mountain be removed, you know, it can be done. It can be so simple. It can be truly easy because you're not trying to push anymore. You're just allowing and receiving and excited to see what miracle is next. And for me, that's all I want to do. I just want to teach people to create in joyful, wonderful ways that rank can be just miracle after miracle. Sure, it's stretchiness. Sure, it's like effort, right? But it doesn't have to be labor. It doesn't have to be force. It can be just allowing. So to release any of those words from your vocabulary of I'm pushing or I'm forcing or we're stretching. No, like we're on target. It's happening. It is. Feels good, huh? There's my thoughts today. Kind of random and scattered, but I like to be in the flow of the moment. So there you go.
That's beautiful. Thank you, Kelly.
Thank you.
Wow. Yeah. Such a stream of wisdom. I really, really enjoyed so much of what you gave to us today. Thank you. I received it like a river of abundance. Does anyone have any questions? You could either perhaps, take yourself off mute or pop it into the box here, and then I can read it out for you. For Kelly.
I'll put some books in the
title. Beautiful. Okay. No questions this morning. Everyone's just received the download. It's so amazing to, when you were talking about the removing of mountains and, just the perception that a rank or a goal, whether it is something in your life, anything in your life that you perceive as a goal and it being removed from you and also in a place that's hard to get, it's that setting up, isn't it? That's the space of where we set up the landscape that we're about to then discover. So I really love just inviting that in, and then also inviting God in to bless that and to create it in a way, create that landscape in a way that really is allowing for you to shine. So beautiful. Yes, look at all of your books. So beautiful. So nobody's willing to ask Kelly. What was one thing, I'm just feeling into it, for someone who may have, maybe on the edge of inviting in faith as a core path to walk in terms of creating in their life, perhaps they're feeling cynical or they're feeling alone. What was it for you that invited in? I guess when you were talking about the evidence board, I really feel that is such a key element. But it's really when we're in that place, we're really requiring evidence that even exists, that even is true. What would you say to someone that is in that place and is perhaps wanting to really step into their faith, but maybe resistant because they're not feeling like they can trust it or that they can better help them?
I would just say it's practice, right? We're just practicing. So that whole thing about the mountain is actually scripture from where it says, if you have a mustard seed of faith, you can move a mountain. And a mustard seed, if you've ever seen it, it's like a speck. It's like a little teeny dot. And so there's not a lot that's required of us to trust the process, but even just a mere focus or allowing that we don't have to control the ship, right? Like we can share the steering wheel, right? We can, we don't have to do this on our own. Like even just the mere allowing that the thought to enter, like a little tiny crack of possibility that there's something out there that wants to help us and helps us to succeed, like will help to open things up. And I just invite anyone who wants to see miracles in their business just to give it a go, right? Give it a go for 30 days and see. So in my 31 Days of Miracles group, I have people just start writing examples of ways that they've felt blessed in their lives, or anything that was unexpected that happened that they're just grateful for. Like maybe their leader called them instead of they called their leader. Or maybe like my son today, he told me that Correct X, I think you guys have that down there, healed his toe in a pretty dramatic and quick way. And I was like, that's awesome. Like that's a miracle in and of itself, that we're working with products that surprise us joyfully every day. There's just so many little ways that we can start to track success. And when you're recording the wins or the joys or the blessings, the miracles, all of it, you start to see more. And recognizing them is the first step. And yeah, I mean, I've been doing this for a long time, right? Like I've been creating with God for many years. But when I started, I was like, well, what do I have to lose? It's not going well on my own, And so I might as well start asking for help. And I didn't have an MBA, in business when I started as an entrepreneur, 8-10 years ago. I was like, only thing I know is that if I ask for help, I can get help. And there's evidence all over the place of people who have done extraordinary things in history who didn't have the training, the background, the experience, the insight, but they were able to accomplish hard things. And why did they do those things? Well, I believe because they had help. They had help from an unseen source, or they had mentors that guided them, or they had a support team that was giving them, instruction somehow. And I believe I'm worthy of that. I believe you're worthy of that. And that we are here on this planet to create difference and to make change and to contribute in meaningful ways and add value and contribute. And so if we have good intentions and we plant good seeds, we will get a good harvest, So whether you believe in God or not, that's true. Like if you plant a good seed and you take care of it and nourish it, you're going to harvest it. It's just the law of the harvest, period. So the more you do that, and then you add a little faith to that, maybe your crop will grow bigger than expected, or maybe you will find a leader that you weren't, thinking of calling. They called you and said, hey, those oils? I've been thinking about starting a business. Would it be okay if I joined you? I've had that happen to me, guys. Or sometimes those seeds take longer to harvest than others. But who cares? You've made the effort, and then you put it aside, and then you trust the timing to be right, So anyways, that's kind of a long answer, but what do you have to lose? That's the question. You can keep doing what you've always done, or you can try and do something different.
I love that. Yeah. I love that. This is if someone's in that place and they haven't been stepping forth in faith, then, that what have you got to lose? And what you have been doing up until this point has got you to where you are now. So if you want something different, invite it in. It's just...
Yeah. And, I get it. I get it that not everybody wants to do that, but what if your business could grow 4 times as fast? Or what if there's someone that is waiting for you to wake up and try this way, and they're only going to be drawn to you if you do, what if that? So I always tell my leaders when they're going for ranks or going for goals, I say things like, what else is possible? Or what do we want to create today? What more can we do? And all of that more, or what else is possible, like it opens up like this just joy of like, I don't know, there's like a treasure around the corner, instead of being a place of lack or worry or concern of like, oh man, I still have this much to go. Like, what else is going to happen this week? What else is going to happen today? What miracle will unfold, and just like the mindset of it. And like one more thing I'll share from Joel Osteen is he talks about this professional golfer who was invited by a king in the Middle East to go golfing. And this is a true story. And this king invited him to go golfing, and he said, as a parting gift, I want to give you a gift. What would you like? And he said, well, I like to golf, so a golf club would be awesome. And the golf club, he thought it would be like maybe like a desktop one or a special one with his name on it or whatever. And then a month goes by and he still doesn't receive anything in the mail. And then one day he gets a deed in the mail. And the deed was for a 500-acre golf club. He gave him a resort, essentially, to go golfing. And his limited perception was, I'm going to get this little thing, like, I don't know, maybe a golf club. And when he saw the difference of his limitation and the king's limitation, he just couldn't even believe it. Like, this man didn't even bat an eye. He's like, you want a golf club? It's yours. And that's how I feel that God thinks about us. He's like, stop playing so small. Stop thinking that you just want one enrollment today, or you just want to enroll one leader this month. Like, what if you just crack it open and you just say, what do you want to give me? Like, what joy is available that I don't even perceive? How fast can we run? One of the things that I like to ask people is, how good can it get? And I think that we don't even understand it. Like, we have no limitation except ourselves. And so there you go. So the oils can help with that for sure. And we should use them. They are a huge asset for us to work with our mindset and our hearts and to heal this lack that is literally a virus that's in our society. But if we can heal it in ourselves, it will heal generations. It will heal it for our children and our teams, and it will move forward. There is not a question in my mind that God wants me to be rich. Like, he wants me to run to the highest mountain and to have a 15th course meal and to give generously to charities and to take my children around the world. Because we're doing it. We're living it. What else does he want to give us? What else does he want to give you? Right? What does he want for you? Because you are his child. He wants you to have the full measure of all that is good because he created it all. It's not noble to like create it and give it away. Really. It's noble to enjoy and to savor it and to love it and to share, right? It's all good. And so I just am excited to invite you to create in a powerful way. And if you want to experience the highest level of love, this is it. Seriously. You will feel it in abundance. And you'll create in such an extraordinary way that you'll just be like, thank you so much. I am so excited for my life, because you won't even recognize yourself in a month, in a year, in 10 years, because you chose to create in this way. So go get it. And I'm excited to hear about your miracles. The end.
Thank you so much, Kelly. That was just divine. Thank you. I feel really filled up now. Feeling a little bit under the weather this morning, so I'm feeling really blessed and yeah, a lot more vital than I was feeling an hour ago. So you mentioned about your 31 Days of Miracles Facebook group. Perhaps we'll put that in the link of this video as well.
Yep.
Because yeah, it is a blessing to receive your guidance on receiving miracles in your life.
Yeah. And also, just FYI, if this is too, like, you know, if this is not your style, like, you can adapt it, right? So let me just pop this in the thing. Okay. There you go. So I started that on July 1st, but it took like a week off. So it's not consecutive, but we're on like day 18 or something right now in there. And you are welcome to join us. And like I said, adapt it as needed, but I feel like if you're jiving with what I've told you so far, you're gonna like it. I go a lot deeper and stronger. And it's also baby steps. I mean, I kind of did like a little bit of an advanced view here. I didn't have a lot of time, but I just wanted to give you what I felt to give you in the moment. I also want to just give you a, if you haven't seen this book,
I've heard about this.
Yes, I Am Fabulous. There's really beautiful blend recipes in here. There's one called Manifestor's Blend. I'll give that to you guys right now. It's really beautiful. I used it for going presidential. It's 5 cypress, 3 Douglas fir, 3 white fir, 2 wild orange, 2 myrrh, 3 geranium, 3 coriander, 2 clary sage, 1 patchouli, 1 Hawaiian sandalwood, 1 ginger, and 2 cedarwood. I'll write that in here. But I really like this blend. It smells amazing, and you can fill the rest in a 5 ml with FCO. And she recommends, this is Desiree Mangan Dog, she's a blue diamond. She says to apply it in the inside of your elbow creases, inside the forearms, and the back of the neck. And she says to use it twice a day for a month, and it will help to shift the energy around manifesting, which is basically manifesting the same thing as faith. It's just a trendy word for it. So, so there you go. And there you go. I think we've kind of covered a lot of stuff in a short amount of time.
Yes, that was jam.
And I hope that you feel loved and that anything is possible, because it truly is. Rock on. Hey, excited for you guys.
Thank you, Kelly. It's been such an honor and a blessing to have you this morning with us. And yeah, blessings upon you.
Thanks.
And your beautiful day. The rest of your day.
Thank you. Have a wonderful one. And I hope to see some of you guys coming out to convention. Should be good.
Seeing you soon.
All right. Take care. Thank you.
Bye.